Visit worldrolodex.com/eat-stop-eat to learn more. The shocking truth that makes weight loss simple. Again, eat stop eat. Subject: I'm losing 5.5 lbs literally overnight. Subject 2: overnight trick, I lost 6 pounds. Unopens: stop dieting, do this instead. Here's the truth. I just used a simple trick that doesn't involve eating any special foods, takes only 24 hours, and lets me eat my normal favorites 72% of the time. Best of all, you can start right now to look and feel noticeably slimmer by tomorrow. I'm losing weight every time I use this trick, 5.5 pounds this last time. And a good chunk of this weight loss comes from your most stubborn and hard to lose body fat. I'm losing 5.5 lbs literally overnight. However, keep in mind, this trick is so effective we only recommend you do it once, maybe twice, per week. Let me know how much you lose, okay? SUBJ, Intermittent Fasting. SUBJ, the book on intermittent fasting. Are you seeing a ton of ads and videos in your newsfeed these days about intermittent fasting? I'm seeing them everywhere. And unfortunately a lot of them are from guys who are just jumping on the bandwagon. Since it seems to be a hot topic again, all of a sudden the gurus are coming out of the woodwork. I've been using it as one of my nutritional tools off and on since 2009. And I've become fast friends with one of the pioneers of IF and author of the first book on the subject that dates way back to 2006, Brad Pilon. Brad's book Eat Stop Eat is the book on intermittent fasting. Besides the nuts and bolts of what to do and when, Brad covers all the research on IF-related topics, from how fasting affects blood glucose, insulin, leptin, testosterone to how it affects muscle building. Even though it was written in 2006, he updates the book every few years so that it is up to date with the latest science. Subject: women and intermittent fasting, does it work? Sub 2: why intermittent fasting works great for women. SUBJ, intermittent fasting. I get quite a few questions on how you can implement fasting, so I reached out to intermittent fasting expert Brad Pilon, author of Eat Stop Eat, to set the record straight for you, and here is what he had to say. Let's forget most of the mambo-jumbo about fasting not being good for women. Most of it is clickbait, and the rest is confusing fasting for the combination of excessive leanness, excessive dieting, and excessive exercise. Let's also forget the way people treat all types of fasting as being the same. Instead, let's focus on real-world practical reasons why fasting works well for many women. I've thought of about a million different ways to explain this, and the best I've come up with is a fictional story. So here it goes. Janet first met Kevin when they were in college. Kevin was 6 feet 2 inches and 205 pounds. While he wasn't an athlete, he worked out regularly and maintained a fairly muscular build for his height. Janet was 5 feet 4 inches and 135 pounds. In her youth she was involved in just about every sport imaginable. From field hockey and soccer to swimming and dance, Janet was active. As a result, she had the typical fit and athletic body that other women her age hated her for having. Janet didn't really have a weight issue during college. Sure, her weight increased and hovered around 140 pounds by her senior year, but for the most part she had it under control. That is until she and Kevin got married and moved in together. They both lived very busy lives, balancing their new careers with trying to maintain some sort of social life. As a result, both Kevin and Janet ate out a fair bit. Nothing extreme, maybe 2 or 3 times per week. When they were at home, Kevin cooked them relatively healthy meals, and they almost always ate breakfast and dinner together. After 4 years of marriage, Kevin still weighed about 205 pounds. Sure, there wasn't quite as much muscle, and he was a little softer around the stomach, but for the most part, not much had changed. Janet, on the other hand, hated her body. Her once athletic build could now only be described as thick. She spent a great deal of time stressing over what she ate, making sure she ate enough protein, kept a close eye on her carbs, and always took her fish oil pills. Despite this, she was finding it a never-ending battle to keep her weight below the dreaded 160-pound mark, but when work became stressful she could easily find herself in the mid-160s. Her breaking point was a couple days after last Thanksgiving, when she actually weighed in with a nighttime before bed weight of 175 pounds. To Janet this was devastating, and she was completely oblivious to why it was happening. She had joined a gym, and even committed to going on nightly walks with Kevin, but to no avail. Her friends said she ate too much sugar, but for the most part the meals that her and Kevin ate were very healthy. In fact, despite what her friends said, Janet knew that her and Kevin ate the healthiest out of all her friends. She finally chalked it up her weight gain to having a slow metabolism. It simply must have slowed down since college. It was probably all the stress at work, or maybe it was some rare hormonal thing she inherited from her mother. The truth? Janet was putting on weight because she ate too much. More specifically, she put on weight because she ate roughly the same amount as Kevin. They had the same size servings of almost everything they ate. And since Kevin was, for the most part, maintaining a weight of around 200 pounds, and was just about as active as Janet, it meant that Janet was eating enough food to maintain a weight of, well, right around 200 pounds. When they would go to the restaurant and order the same meal, Kevin didn't get the big guy serving size, while Janet got the slim girl serving size. Both plates looked identical. When Kevin made them healthy omelets, he didn't make one for himself then a half an omelet for Janet, he simply made 2 omelets. This is the plight of smaller women. Most serving sizes in restaurants are too big for the average man, let alone a woman who is 4 inches shorter and 40 to 60 pounds lighter. And, for the most part, when we are at home we don't downsize the portion sizes for the smaller person. Even if we tried, we generally end up at some middle ground that is still a little too much for an average-sized woman. This is why Eat Stop Eat works so well for so many women. It gives you a chance to play a little catch up, or more correctly to play a little fall behind. It allows you to eat at a restaurant without having to leave 1/3 of your food on your plate. You can eat at home with your family without cutting your chicken breast in half and giving it to the dog. It is a dietary custom portion size equalizer. If you want the book on fasting, check out Brad's book, Eat Stop Eat. Subject, 24-hour trick, I lost 6 pounds. What if there was a trick you can do with your diet, that doesn't involve eating only healthy foods, takes just 24 hours and could help you lose 5 to 10 pounds? Would you be interested in that? I just used this trick just the other day and lost 6 pounds in just 24 hours. Here it is. 24-hour trick you can use to lose 5 to 10 pounds. Let me know how much you lose, okay? Subject, say goodbye to 5 to 7 pounds. Here's the truth. I just used a simple trick that doesn't involve eating any special foods, takes only 24 hours, and lets me eat my normal favorites 72% of the time. Best of all, you can start right now to look and feel noticeably slimmer by tomorrow. I'm losing weight every time I use this trick, 3.8 pounds this last time. And a good chunk of this weight loss comes from your most stubborn and hard to lose body fat. I'm losing 3.8 lbs literally overnight. However, keep in mind, this trick is so effective I only recommend you do it once, maybe twice, per week. Let me know how much you lose, okay? Subject, shed your excess 5 to 7 pounds overnight. Did you know you look 5 to 7 pounds heavier than you really are? It's true. Most people are carrying around an extra 5 to 7 pounds that makes them feel and look fatter, without actually being fatter. And it means you probably suffer from some gut inflammation that's pushing against your belly from the inside out and making you look fatter. However, you can fix it by tomorrow. Hit your true weight overnight with this subject, drop your excess 5 to 7 pounds. What if there was a trick you can do with your diet, that doesn't involve eating only healthy foods, takes just 24 hours and could help you lose as much as 5 to 7 pounds in the next 5 days? Would you be interested? Even better, what if most of your weight loss will come from your most stubborn hard to lose body fat? I've been using this trick once or twice a week for years and it has never failed me. In fact, just the other day I lost over 3 pounds in just 24 hours. Here it is. 24-hour trick you can use to lose 5 to 7 pounds. Subject, drop 5 pounds and keep your testosterone high. What if there was a simple trick that is not a diet, that doesn't involve eating only healthy foods, takes just 24 hours, and could help you lose as much as 5 to 7 pounds in the next 5 days, without decreasing your male sex hormones like almost every diet does? In fact, this particular trick has been shown to help guys lose over 2 pounds while increasing their testosterone by 7.5% in just 24 hours. Would you try it? Of course, right? This is the same trick I've been using for over 10 years to stay lean. And during that time my testosterone levels have never been below 21 nmol. Opening square bracket . By the way, that's pretty damned good. I've been using this trick once or twice a week for years and it has never failed me. In fact, just the other day I lost over 3 pounds, and stripped almost an inch off my waist in just 24 hours. Here it is, 0.24-hour trick you can use to lose 5 to 7 pounds. Let me know how much you lose, okay? Subject number 1 to 1 day cleanse, better than 7 day detoxes. Subject number 2, do this for 1 day, better than 7 day detoxes. Forget what you've read about 10-day lemonade cleanses, 7-day detoxes with green juices, and Gwyneth's gruel. All you need to do, and this is perfect for Saturday or any time really, is a simple 1-day cleanse. You only need 24 hours, and better yet, you still get to eat real food every day. You don't have to go hungry, or live out of a juicer, for days while the rest of your family eats dinner or while everyone at work has a real lunch. This 1-day cleanse formula will do 3 things for you. 1. It will help you quickly and easily lose the weight gain overnight. 2. It will save you time and money, and it will leave you clear-headed and more productive. 3. It will give you an advantage over everyone you know, perfect for rebooting your health goals, your fitness, or getting ahead in your at-work weight loss transformations that have become so popular here in America. This is the solution you have been looking for. It's quick, it works faster than anything else you could try for post-holiday cleansing, and you can easily get started tomorrow because it doesn't require any fancy juice recipes or strange ingredients found in limited supply from the Amazon jungle. In fact, the less you do, the more results you will get with this system. Get the 1-day cleanse for fast weight loss results. Just do it 1 day at a time. P.S. Here's the truth. It's not your fault if you fall off the wagon, or if you get super sidetracked from your goals in life. It's okay. It happens to all of us. The most important thing you can do is get back on track when it happens, because it will. Immediately. Not next week. But right now. The second thing you must do is remove the wrong to make it easier to do the right. Eliminate as many temptations from your daily routine as possible. Keep the TV off. Toss the junk food, trash the coupons for Domino's. Out of sight, out of mind. Get the 1-day cleanse for fast weight loss results. Get back on track right at this time. This is going to be your year. Let's start building momentum for it today. Never give up on what really matters to you. Take action today and always. Holiday email. Subject: should women fast? There is recent debate about women and the safety of fasting. I reached out to intermittent fasting expert Brad Pilon, author of Eat Stop Eat, to set the record straight for you, and here is what he had to say. It is true that many women have had problems when they added fasting into their diet and nutrition plan. But the question becomes, was the problem the fasting? It should come as no surprise that there are obvious gender differences in how the human body works. From the way genders look to their unique metabolisms, men and women do have very different physiologies. In fact, there are entire books dedicated to the topic, my favorite being Gender Differences in Metabolism by Dr. Mark Tarnopolsky. In short, aside from the obvious physical differences in muscle mass and body fat levels, women also differ from men due to women having their own set of unique metabolic and physiologic needs that relate to their childbearing physiology, and this fact simply cannot be ignored when discussing diet and weight loss. A woman's ovarian function is particularly sensitive to energy balance and energy flux, which can be explained easily by saying a woman's body is constantly monitoring the energy available since the energy needs for pregnancy are high. If the energy needed to support pregnancy is not available, or is perceived to be at risk of becoming unavailable, then the body takes steps to lessen the chance of pregnancy. In fact, available energy is monitored in 3 distinct ways. 1. Energy status, the amount of stored energy within a woman's body. This is most often thought of as body fat or body fat percentage. 2. Energy balance, the balance between calories in and calories out. Basically whether or not a woman is actively losing weight. 3. Energy flux, the rate of calories in and the rate of calories out. A woman may not be losing weight, but her calorie intake and output are extremely low, or both extremely high. As an example, a woman with very low levels of body fat, 15 to 20%, may be at higher risk for metabolic changes due to her low amount of available energy, since the amount of energy stored in her body fat may not be enough to support a full pregnancy. A woman undergoing prolonged severe dieting may be at higher risk for metabolic changes because of the large discrepancy between calories in and calories out, despite still having higher than average levels of body fat. And finally, a woman who is not losing weight, or is calorie balanced, but the flux is extremely high. Athletes who eat and burn 3,000 plus calories in a given day could be at risk of metabolic changes because of the high flux of calories, even though she is in calorie balance and has normal levels of body fat. So a woman who wants to lose weight must be aware that her unique situation will affect how her body responds to any particular weight loss or exercise program. And this includes fasting. A woman's current body fat level, her exercise program, and her degree of dieting are all risk factors. Sadly, this is well-known physiology. Physiologic and metabolic disturbances like the female athlete triad have been studied for years. So people who are saying that fasting causes issues with women's hormones, without looking at the other possible factors, either don't understand this physiology, or are ignoring it. Both are equally concerning. Either way, fasting itself I don't see as the issue, but something that exasperates any one of these three issues. B. If you want more info on fasting, health, and fitness, check out his book Eat Stop Eat. Subject: Starvation Mode. There is recent debate about women and fasting, specifically the concept of starvation mode. I reached out to intermittent fasting expert Brad Pilon, author of Eat Stop Eat, to set the record straight for you, and here is what he had to say. The theory of starvation mode is something that fuels obsessive-compulsive eating in North America and throughout the world. The theory of starvation mode is challenging to dispute because the definition continually changes. As each definition is proven to be junk science, a new definition pops up in its place, and some definitions are more correct and scientifically feasible than others, so it becomes increasingly difficult for the average person to tell hype from fact. And while some aspects of starvation mode are a concern, others are simply a marketing technique designed to create fear that without a special diet or special advice you could diet wrong and hurt yourself. So for the sake of clarity, the definition I am referring to when I say starvation mode is as follows. Starvation mode is when metabolism supposedly slows down when you don't eat every couple of hours, to the point where you are actually gaining weight while in a caloric deficit. More often than not you will see this definition supporting very complex diet programs. What? They take the common sense idea of eating less, and make it sound like a bad idea. Of course then you need their advice on how to lose weight if eating less is no longer an option. Clever. This is just another example of fear-mongering and confusion created by the food, diet, and supplement industry that ultimately leads to obsessive-compulsive eating. Do not fall for this fear-mongering. It only adds to the confusion people have about how much food or how little food they can eat without slowing their metabolism. The truth is that a large body of scientific research shows that you can eat lower amounts of calories for extended periods of time without large changes in your metabolism and without a significant decrease in muscle mass as long as you do some form of resistance training, and if you are not already exceptionally lean. In fact, most of the fear of starvation mode tends to come from bodybuilders and people in the fitness industry, men and women who are dieting to the point where they temporarily get to dangerously low levels of body fat, and have caused major metabolic complications with their prolonged severe dieting, severe training, and severely low levels of body fat. It's the people in the extremes, warning about the extremes. But the goal isn't 0% body fat, and for the vast majority of us who are trying to lose fat, build muscle, and get lean and healthy, this is not an issue. Yes, spending extended periods of time eating very little amounts of food and taking part in high levels of exercise can cause metabolic complications, but this doesn't mean that eating less and exercising always causes these types of problems. In fact, you can lose significant amounts of weight without losing muscle mass or damaging your metabolism as long as you are using resistance training as part of your weight loss plan. In a study just published in the Journal of Obesity, researchers examined the effects of losing 25 pounds on 94 women who either A. followed a resistance training workout program, B. followed an aerobic training program, C. did not work out at all. These women were asked to follow a diet consisting of 800 calories until they reduced their BMI down to less than 25. The average was 25 pounds of weight loss. The women continued this diet for as long as 5 months straight, not something I would personally recommend without being medically monitored. The researchers found that the women who were following the resistance training workout program maintained their fat-free mass during the time they were on the diet. This means that even though they lost 25 pounds, they were able to preserve their muscle mass. Therefore, all 25 pounds that these women lost were from fat. So much for those fat-burning enzymes decreasing. They also found that the group of women who were following the resistance training workout program preserved their metabolic rate. In other words, they did not see any metabolic slowdown as a result of losing 25 pounds, or from being on a 800 calorie per day diet for 5 months, way lower and way longer than I would ever recommend. Interestingly, the researchers found decreases in fat-free mass in the women who did not work out and in the women who performed aerobic training. More evidence that resistance training while following a weight-reducing diet program can preserve lean mass and metabolic rate. Sometimes it's not the diet, but what you do along with the diet that counts the most. BP. If you want more info on fasting, health, and fitness, check out his book Eat Stop Eat. Subject: How to intermittent fast. I get quite a few questions on how you can implement fasting, so I reached out to intermittent fasting expert Brad Pilon, author of Eat Stop Eat, to set the record straight for you, and here is what he had to say. The concept of the reverse taper diet is still one of my favorite ideas. Without getting too technical, the concept is that you should be in your largest calorie deficit, eating the least amount of food, at the beginning of your diet, when you have the most fat to lose and thus the most fat available to be used as a fuel. Then, as you slowly lose fat, you also slowly up your calories, ideally ending at a spot where you are eating maintenance level calories when you are at your leanest. The benefit of dieting in this manner is twofold. Firstly, you have much less risk of rebound weight gain. At the end of the diet, you would be eating exactly the amount you need to eat to maintain your new ideal body. Secondly, you would always have available energy so you could work out, and so your energy levels didn't diminish the further into the diet you lasted. Lots of people complain about not having enough energy to work out by the end of a traditional diet. The only problem that seems to come up with this approach is that people don't like to fiddle with their calories, and they also have a very hard time increasing their calories if they're seeing really good fat loss progress with the lower calorie amounts. Some people just like to get into a groove of eating and stay there. That's why I thought of using periods of fasting as a way to recreate the reverse taper. Basically, pick a daily calorie amount that is satisfying but responsible maintenance, then use periods of fasting as a way to alter the deficit. What I have always done in the past was taper my fasting frequency based on my waist circumference. Reverse taper based on fasting frequency: if my waist was over 33 inches, I would fast 2 times per week for 24 hours. If my waist was between 32 to 33 inches, I would do one 24-hour fast once every 4 to 5 days. If my waist was under 32 inches, I would fast for 24 hours once per week. Basically Eat Stop Eat as it's written in Eat Stop Eat. This works great for me, but unfortunately most people don't like that amount of change. Basically, they like having some routine to their fasting. People don't want to fast once or twice per week, they pick always fasting once per week, or always fasting twice per week. And the vast majority of people skip right over the once per week and always associate Eat Stop Eat with doing 2 24-hour fasts every week. So here's my solution, based on Eat Stop Eat style 2x per week fasting. I'm trying this now and really enjoying it. Reverse taper based on fasting duration: if my waist was over 33 inches, I would fast for 24 hours 2 times per week. If my waist was between 32 to 33 inches, I would fast twice per week, once for 24 hours and once for 20 hours. If my waist was under 32, I would fast twice for 20 hours 2 times per week. Lowering your total weekly fasting by 4 hours doesn't seem like much, but it can make a big difference in how you feel while dieting. The benefit of this approach is that your daily eating routines never really need to change, and since many of us are creatures of habit, this makes dieting easier. The food doesn't change, just the lengths of the fasts. This is one of the benefits of being flexible with your fasts. A 20-hour fast can feel very different than a 24-hour fast, especially in the final stages of leaning out. To try this out, you're going to need to know your ideal waist. I trust waist measurements more than weight measurements. I know when I'm photo shoot lean, my waist is under 32 inches. I have suggestions for you, but if you already know what your best waist is, you can use that number. Ideal waist suggestions: ideal waist circumference of a fairly well-muscled man, measured at the belly button in the morning, would be about 44.7% of your height. Ideal waist circumference for a fairly well-muscled woman, measured not at the belly button but at the narrowest point just below your rib cage, would be about 38.2% of your height. These may seem a little low, but keep in mind that from my experience, reverse tapering is only really needed during the final 10 to 15 pounds of fat loss. If this is you, and you're struggling to stick with your diet during the final last push, consider a reverse taper if approach your friend, BP. Visit worldrolodex.com/eatstopeat to learn more.